My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is July 30th, 2024. It is 1:57 a.m. I've been up since 12, I believe, and I procrastinate. I went sit at the in my living room to watch some TV. I was just dragging myself to start recording because I have a lot to share with you. There was a lot of things going on yesterday. In this video, I have about 17 tweets I want to share with you, and many of them are pretty long, pretty tough discussion, so I don't know how much I'm gonna say. And for Pt1, I have about 5 tweets to share with you, and I should have started with Invictus for our part of Pew Service channel, but I push it back again. I was supposed to start with it because it was on my list yesterday, but I didn't record it, and I'm pushing it back again. So let me grab the link and look at the background of my channel and then get started. Okay, the subscription is growing. 4,407 subscribers, new subscribers welcome. Estimate revenue $120.92. I'm thinking of making membership because some people are asking. I will put it as an option. Okay, everything is an option anyway. I'll create membership as an option of ways you guys could support me. I still have PayPal, and some of you do donate. I truly appreciate that. And I have Cash App, and I opened my Patreon. I haven't put anything there lately, so if YouTube were to, for instance, were to shut me down, I'll be on Patreon. Okay, so that's just a way I create the platform, but I haven't put much up there because I want people to see everything. I don't want any special treatment. And if I do create the membership, there's not gonna be any special treatment. It's just a way for you to support me. That's all. All right. So these are the numbers, analytics. When I'm doing this at the beginning of the videos, feel free to skip. All right. And the last 48 hours, 2,287 views. Okay. So let's go on Twitter. First tweet. It's about politics. I did say I was not going to talk about politics, especially leading to the election. That was like a week or so. That was before Joe Biden, step aside, because everything that I was seeing was very depressing. So I didn't want to talk about it. But now that the momentum is shifting, there's a lot to talk about. So every now and then I will be sharing with you whatever is worth sharing, especially if you are in the US. And of course, I always put my humble opinion and some of the things. And my the best way to see things up to date is subscribe and check my community board. That's where I usually put things when I see them. It's much faster. All right. Okay. So first tweet. Breaking. Federal court dismisses Republican lawsuit to reject mail-in ballot in Mississippi that are cast by election day and received shortly after. A victory for my law firm's client and the voters of Mississippi. All right. So this is the person here. Founder, Democracy Docket. Chair, Elias Law Group. My dog name is Bode. All right. So there's a guy. I don't know if it's the same person. I believe which YouTube channel sometime I watch, and they usually interview him. I forgot the YouTube channel and that particular lawyer that they usually interview. This guy is doing his thing for democracy. A white guy too. All right, all the states that are trying to suppress voters from voting, he's there fighting. So kudos to him. I don't remember his name, and I'm not sure if it's this is the person. Okay, the link of this will be in the description. All right, let's see how long. It's not that long, so let me read it. Okay, Mississippi mail-in ballot received deadline challenge. RNC, Republican National Committee versus Wetzel. Lawsuit filed on behalf of the Republican National Committee, the Mississippi Republican Party, and individual voter challenging a Mississippi law that allows mail-in ballots that are postmarked on or before election day to be counted if they are received within 5 business days of the election. The Republican plaintiff argued that the challenged law, quote, effectively extend Mississippi's federal election past the election day established by Congress and result in, quote, valid ballots being diluted by untimely and valid ballots. The plaintiffs assert that the challenge deadline is especially harmful to Republican voters. I don't know why they're afraid for people to vote. My goodness. Quote, counting mail-in ballots received after election day doesn't just dilute the valid ballot, it specifically and disproportionately harm Republican candidates and voters. I mean, if the person is voting and he or she is eligible to vote, is an American citizen, so what's the problem? According to the lawsuit, a ballot is not a legal vote unless it received by election day. My goodness. The plaintiff alleged that Mississippi's mail-in ballot receipt deadline violates their constitutional right under the First and 14th Amendment, as well as federal law, which set one specific day as the uniform national election day for federal office. The plaintiff also claimed that the challenge deadline, which allegedly permits illegitimate votes to be counted, violates their right to vote under the 14th Amendment. The lawsuit asked the court to strike down Mississippi's mail-in ballot receipt deadline and to only allow for mail-in ballot received on or before election day to be counted. The case was consolidated with the Libertarian Party of Mississippi versus Wetzel. This is the result. On July 28, 2024, the court granted the defendant's motion for summary judgment. Mail-in ballots that are postmarked on or before election day will be counted if they are received within 5 business days of the election. Okay, so that's that. Let's see some of the comments and then go to the next one. Okay, I'm glad to see the good people of Mississippi having joined the GOP and throwing ethics and morality out the window. There is no evidence that mail-in ballots are easier to defraud, but there is evidence that not allowed mail-in ballot reduces votes by the poor, disabled, and elderly. Alright, so there's all of that. What do you think this represents? Please read before you answer. Have you been to the Mississippi Delta? Exactly how far it is to polling place and how will you get there? Every election we see major news stories and polling places having been closed, moved to few or not located in certain area. I mean, they're trying everything. Why do you think they do that? If they really wanted the people that will vote against them, the Republican, so they make it difficult for them. Majority of those neighborhood are poor. They don't have car, they don't have transportation, so they're pushing it further away. I mean, this is purely barbaric mindset of people. Let's leave that alone. Let's go to the next one because I have a lot to share with you. All right, the link of the article will be in the description. Next one. Okay, let's pause. Okay, I forgot what this is about. There's no comment here. She speak truth. So that's a retweet. Let's go into it. Pause again. It will be a screenshot, okay? Election 2024, white women, black women, Harris 2024. Okay. There's no comment. This is spam, so I'm not even gonna click on it. So it's only 1 minute and 24 seconds. Let's listen. Screenshots, okay?
I think that we have to recognize that there are two major shifts. One, there are demographic shifts in the country. And so when you look at the country and what we've been used to in terms of a political history, the country is now younger, and the country also has a whole different experience. They're used to seeing women now in places of leadership. There's been a woman in the White House. We had a woman to run for president who actually got more votes than Trump did. Hillary Clinton got more votes. She just didn't get the Electoral College. My point is there's a different kind of, I think that there are voters.
I think we need to get rid of the Electoral College because the Republicans love it because they know how to manipulate the system to get that. Like when they redistricting areas for their benefit, and the Electoral College needs to go because it prevent the popular person that the majority of the country wants from being in office. So the Electoral College needs to go. Let's continue.
Are asking for something different. I think sometimes the same thing that led to for Obama got elected because people wanted to see someone outside the Beltway. I also think the same thing happened with Trump, that people wanted to see someone break the mold. So I think that there's a unique opportunity in this moment. And I've written a statement about it and actually an op-ed about it, that I believe this is an opening. It doesn't say that we don't choose a white man. It says that we don't have to just think that that's the only option, that we should look at the bench and who is the best that can carry the agenda, align and excite people and bring folks to the ticket. We need to look in that way. We do not need to literally limit ourselves out of fear and looking at the past, because there's one ticket. If we look at the Republican ticket, there's one ticket that is super masculine. And then there's another ticket that we actually, I think, is more reflective and could be more reflective of America that we desire and we deserve.
She's right. Actually, there's one tweet I was just responding to. I don't think I put it on the list. Let me go look for it. And I'm done with this. Okay? There's no comments. There's nothing. So I'm done with this. Let me go look for that other tweet that I just commented on. Okay, so I just added on the list. This is this one. I literally just responded to it 20 minutes ago. And there's 2 comments here 17 minutes ago. Alright, so this tweet goes like this. Among other things, this is a great motivational factor. Kamala Harris for President 2024. Vote for Kamala and you'll never have to think about Donald Trump ever again for the rest of your life. And this is what I put. Let's pause. Then implement a law to prevent him from running ever again. He still has 1 more term to serve. If he does get that chance, he'll do what he says he will do. Keep in mind, though, the Republicans don't care who's in the White House. Now that we know their plan, they just need 1 chance to do it. I didn't have any more space to do it. And then I thought of this as well. Let's pause. We need to keep voting in every election, and we need to not make the same mistake as the Obama's first term. We left him to defend for himself. We then vote in the midterm election of his first term. They, that's the Republican, blacked them throughout until we got that monster. We are now trying to prevent him from winning again. That's what I meant to say, but there's no more room. Okay? The Republicans just need 1 more chance. They started with Trump. I mean, when I said they started with Trump, where Trump is going berserk, but the breaking of democracy started way before Trump. But what happened is now that they going full blast. They know we know that their plan, so they just need 1 more chance to get the White House and do what they said they were gonna do. And then oh my goodness. Alright, so that's that. I don't want to go too deep into it. I just thought it fits perfectly with the other one. And also where Trump, where this person was saying in the last tweet, okay, I forgot what I was saying. My son was up and he came to talk to me, and I paused. I forgot what I think I was saying. Never mind. I know it had to do with election, but I forgot my chain of thought. Okay, so let's go to the next one. That's U.S. politics still. Okay, no, U.S. UK politics. That's what it was. Okay. Will you ever stop using this man to distract from Rupert Murdochs BS? Alright, so that's a retweet of this. Okay. Will the man-child Prince Harry ever take responsibility for what he's done to his family? Oh, what the hell is that? But let's focus on this. Okay, that was July 29, 2024. New Washington Post boss Will Lewis allegedly hatched phony alibi to destroy millions of emails under the noses of cops and falsely blamed ex-PM Gordon Brown. Bizarre plot to save Rupert Murdoch and his sidekick Rebecca Brooks from prosecution revealed to High Court. And I believe in one of my tweets that I have here, I think it's from Byline. I may have that whole thing. This video might break down into several other ones because there's a lot to share with you. According to High Court documents, Lewis, Chisholm, and Brooks hit on the idea of making a trumped-up false security threat. Astonishingly, they came up with a notion of blaming Britain's former Prime Minister Gordon Brown, who had begun to ask questions about Rupert Murdoch's companies. The newspaper executive claimed that Gordon Brown, along with senior Labour politician Tom Watson, were plotting to steal electronic information from the databases of The Sun and News of the World in order to further their political ambition to bring Murdoch down. Gordon Brown has dismissed the allegation as preposterous, and Tom Watson has denied being involved in a witness statement. The explosive claim have been made in Prince Harry's case against the Sun newspaper at the High Court in London. As these things unfolding, I'm telling you, we need to keep on praying for Harry, and we need to keep on praying to our ancestors to make things happen, because as we are leading toward 2025, Harry's case, I believe, is in January of 2025, more proof to pretty much back up his claim when he goes to trial. Tom Watson, now a Labour peer, has launched a supporting claim and was present at the hearing in the Rolls building, where his lawyers were asking for more disclosure. News group newspapers, Murdoch newspaper publishing Wang in Britain, deny or do not admit the allegation. I mean, what they were supposed to say. Okay, I'm not even gonna go into that. That's this. Okay, so there's no comments. Let's go to the next one. I believe in one of those tweets that I have, there's an article for Byline, and I think I will read it. Is that this one? No. Okay, so this is US UK politics. That's the side note that I put for myself. Breaking: massive Trump scandal uncovered. Trump campaign drained a dying man's bank account after he gave $500. Oh my Lord. Let's listen to this. 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Screenshots, okay?
Really fascinating. You know, one of the examples that you highlight in his Stop the Steal profiteering that really stands out, I know that's why you focused on it, has to do with someone named Stacey Blatt of Kansas City. And this is someone who, as you mentioned, was ripped off by Trump's unchecked the box swindle. So you said, well, in hospice care, Blatt heard Rush Limbaugh tell his radio audience that the Trump 2020 campaign needed money urgently. Blatt gave $500, half of his monthly income, via WinRed, a commercial enterprise that Trump used to process gifts. Over the next month, Trump's campaign tapped Blatt's bank account 6 more times,
oh my God,
taking the dying man's last $3,000. I mean, David, just put into perspective how unusual that fundraising practice is, and if there's going to be any ramifications for it.
Well, essentially, they were stripping people of their assets as fast as they could because they were running out of money in the campaign. It ought to be treated as a criminal matter. I don't expect it to, just as I show in the book how Trump put our national security at risk with the efforts of his son-in-law to refinance 666 Fifth Avenue in New York. And we became in the bizarre position of the President of the United States attacking Qatar, where we have our most important military base in the Middle East, and aiding the Saudis, who did end up ultimately helping the Kushner family. The profiteering that went on here, particularly by Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump, is just extraordinary, and in any previous administration would have been dominant front page news day after day after day. And yet a lot of this was sort of lost in the background, Brianna.
Wow. Yeah, and you make
They purposely did that. They purposely did that.
We got the most wonderful newspapers in the world in this country. You read the newspapers in the States or in France, they're very dull. They're not entertaining at all. I think that we can have both a serious and an entertaining press. And that's what I want to see survive. I don't want to see Prince Harry destroy the industry I love.
So people don't talk about it. This is why they create that entertainment sort of news. Create nonsense to distract people from the real issues. Jeez.
Clear, look, this was not obviously to the benefit of the United States and its position in the world. It was to the benefit of the Trump family for sure.
This is crazy.
David K. Johnston, fascinating read. Thank you so much for being with us.
And this is the protection that he get. You
Thank
know,
you.
oops, let's pause.
Really fascinating.
He get to do whatever he want while he's allowing those other people to implement their stupid laws, the abortion, the this, the that. Just let me do whatever I want. Let me grab money. In my humble opinion, this is what I think is happening. Okay, there's this here. I'm not gonna read it. That's from pbs.org. Okay, so the link of this will be in the description. Wow. Okay. Alright, let me pause and put it on the list now. Okay, the link of that is in the description. Let's see here. This is an ad. Okay, sadly, we heard about this when it happened. However, the media did not cover it. I mean, there's a reason. This is why they're keeping everybody in the dark. Anybody who's making sense out of the nonsense that was going on, they prevent your videos from being seen by other people. Okay, we are not shocked, and that's my quote. Okay, you guys are going to do a lot better than that. You guys have been trashing this man for 10 years and it hasn't worked. There's a reason for that. God has had his hand around Donald Trump for a long time, preparing him for people, places, and times we are living in. What the hell is this? Are you freaking kidding? Let's leave that alone. Woo! Let's go to the next tweet. Did I grab it? 86. Next one. Alright, I need to go a bit faster now. Okay, so that's this here. This one I posted on my community board. Maybe I should go on my community board as well to read what I wrote. Okay, breaking. John Giles, the Republican mayor of Mesa, Arizona, announced he is endorsing Kamala Harris for president. Quote, our party used to stand for the belief that every Arizonian who matters their background or circumstances should have the freedom, opportunity, and security to live out their American dream. But since Donald Trump refused to accept the outcome of the 2020 election, Republicans have yet to course correct. The Republican Party, with Trump at its helm, continues down the path of political extremism away from focusing on our fundamental freedom. In the spirit of the late Senator John McCain motto, quote, country first, end quote, I call on other Arizona Republicans to join me in choosing country over party this election and to vote against Donald Trump. Okay, so that's that. Let me go on my community board and let me see if I could find let me pause and look for it so I don't waste time. Okay, so this is it right here. I shared this with you on my community board. So far 93 people like it and there's 2 comments here. Alright, and I put here on my community board, this is happening. The last image is me retweeting someone else's response within that same tweet or thread. I wanted to say something about that tweet. I retweeted it. Okay, and I'll go back on Twitter to share it with you. I was just explaining to you. Pretty much what's going on here is those who have some dignity left in them are trying to save face. When their great-grandkids look back to our time, at least they can see their great-granddaddy stood for democracy. When many of them were willing to chop it down a little at a time before, just in general. Okay, I don't want to say it's him that I'm talking about, just in general. Any Republicans that's jumping ship right now, they just want to save face. To say they stood for democracy, for the record purposes. But other than that, if things had gone their way, they will still remain there and continue with the rhetoric that Trump have been running. Where were they? Okay, let me focus on what I wrote. Where were they when Trump was embarrassing the country and doing all sorts of stupid things globally? It's always the little people, black women, Georgia, New York, and some we may never know, who have dignity, respect, and understand the value of our democracy, who stood up to this man baby. All these powerful, tough-looking men did absolutely nothing. Look what happened in Florida, Trump's case. That useless judge tossed the case out. Meanwhile, many Americans died to obtain those information and for Trump to disrespect those classified information. I have to put Mr. Jack Smith in the same category as the little people who then backed down to Trump. He's the prosecutor who brought the charges against Trump in Florida. That's who I'm talking about. And I should have added him in here about black women and whatever. So I want to make sure there are some white people who's standing up against Trump as well. In the heat of the moment. This is when it matters to me. In the heat of the moment. Not after the fact when things come down and then you see some coming out pretend that they did something. So Mr. Jack Smith is in the heat of the moment fighting. And I believe he's going to challenge the judges for tossing out the case. Okay, so I have to follow that a little bit more. Okay, he's doing his thing too. The majority of the Republican Party are jumping ship to save their faces. The election is not over yet, people. November is the month. Tuesday, November 5th is the day. Go vote. Lastly, all U.S. mainstream media, including YouTube, should all be ashamed of themselves. They all love freedom, but when it's time to fight for it, they join the enemy. I hope all of the monies they, mainstream media, make off the people that had the guts to stand in front of the autocracy and say, F you. I hope the CEO of mainstream media conscious eat them alive. They make their money off of our system. When it's time to defend the system that helps them gain their wealth, they are willing to destroy it. Thank you, President Joe Biden, for making our dysfunction system come first. Remember, democracy is not free. We have to work for it to make it work. Okay? But if you're destroying it within, it's not going to work. That's what I mean by that. We're not there yet. We'll keep on fighting. We, the people, have to fight for our system to make it functional. Okay, so that's that. That's what I would regarding that. Let's go on X. So there's more here. It says read more. Did I put the link? Let me check again, and then I'm gonna look for my retweet while I pause. Okay, so I put the link in the description for you guys to read. I'm not gonna read it. And this is the retweet that I did of it. Alright, this is it. That's exactly it. People need to keep in mind Republicans have been chapping democracy way before Trump. Their plan, Project 25, is rejected by most Americans. Now they are saving their faces. Their goal remains the same. They are going back and hiding and doing the thing secretly. Alright, so that was this. It's within that. I think there was a response. Where was it here? That was this. I responded here. From the tweet, there was a response and I responded to that and I retweeted it out. Okay, I think the closer we get to the election, these Republicans are going to start endorsing Harris as they are not brought down by Trump. Okay, and then I responded. Where's the retweet that I said that I just read? I think it's this one. Where is it? All right, this is it. That's exactly it. Me responding to that. Okay, so that's that. All right, there's some of the comments here. Courageous move by Mesa, Arizona Mayor John Giles, choosing country over party. He endorses Kamala Harris over Trump. Will others follow his lead? I mean, sometimes I just don't understand. Many people seem to not have the common sense to see for themselves. Why do many Republicans have to wait for someone else to tell them? Then they see the nonsense that was going on. Do they believe their eyes? Do they hear what was happening? Did they see what Trump was doing? Was against our own, whatever we preach to the world, what we are? That wasn't us at all. Then they see it. So do they have to wait for him? I'm glad this is not to discredit him. Okay? Even some of my comment, I made sure to say I'm just talking in general. This is another aspect of it as well. I'm just talking in general. Okay? Why do they have to wait for someone like him to tell them what is happening to the country is wrong? Then they see it for themselves. This is the thing I don't understand with many people. Their brains are completely empty. They could have many degrees, spent countless of hours and years in school, but basic common sense to see for themselves, they lack of it. Then they see what Trump was doing. For instance, in January 6th thing that was happening, you have police, people who serve the country, Olympians doing the stupidity. I'm like, what is going on? Do many of these people have a brain for themselves to think what is happening is wrong, therefore I'm not gonna do it? I don't understand this. Why do they have to wait for anybody to tell them what is happening is wrong? Instead, do what's right. Did they need him, the mayor, to say that? And I'm glad he's doing it. Again, I want to make sure I'm not talking against him or anything, even in my comment on my community board. And I made sure I said in general. Let me see if I find it. There it is here. Let me read this small sentence here. When their great-grandkids look back to our time, at least they can see their great-granddaddy stood for democracy, when many of them were willing to chop it down a little at a time before. Okay? And then this is here. Just in general. Okay? I'm not talking... I use this as a way to explain my thought. Okay? But I'm not talking specifically of that Arizona mayor. Okay? This is why I said just in general. And then I'm bringing it up again here. Do many of these people who's, congratulating the mayor and everything, it's all good. It's all positive. But my thing is, do many of Americans needed someone to tell them that the way the country was going was wrong? Why do they need someone to tell them this is not our value? They keep on raising the flag, freedom this, freedom that. But there's this guy who's running for office, wanted to chop it down. And he even said, I don't have the clip, that all they need to do is vote this last time to give him the chance. And then they don't have to worry about voting ever again.
If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know, and vote. Vote early, vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed, it'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Then any of this click to anybody's brain to say, what? I want to vote in every election to make sure, let's say, for instance, you're voting for whoever. You don't like this person. Someone else have a better way of moving the country forward. Will you want to, they will be the first one to cry out foul when things don't go their way. Trump will cater to them to help him destroy other groups, but technically they will be the first group who will be calling out foul because they never experienced any hardship. And this guy was gonna put, we're not there yet, okay? November needs to come and people need to go out and vote. Once he finished chop down every every groups, okay, and then eventually it will be you. I don't think they'll be able to sustain it. We have been in a country of how will you say that, calmness. The country face a lot of wars, but the wars don't take place in our homeland, so we don't experience it. Thank God for that. But even still, going to another land to destroy it's not, I'm not saying it's good. But many of these people, they have been in a land, there's no war, there's prosperity to a certain extent, but they never experience hardship. Many people might say, well, I don't have food, I don't have money to buy this, it's because it's self-inflicted, because the people we keep on electing are putting things in their pocket or not looking out for you, but they don't see that. They do not see that. But anyone who's tried to help the country as a whole, not a selected few, they know how to manipulate the mind of many of these people to make them forget about their problem. The same thing that I have said about the UK. Okay? The same thing apply in the US as well. Okay? So let's go to the next tweet. I skipped some of the comments, but let's move on. Let me make sure I don't skip anything. 8:11. Okay, so there it is here. Alright, so we are still about the US. Alright, people need to focus and look at yourself. Are you happy? Is the way the people you elected, are they helping you? Helping you in a way where don't worry about maybe you should to see who else is suffering, but many of these racists, they can only be happy if they see someone else is suffering. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about well-minded people who want everyone to be in a place of calmness, prosperity. They have food on the table. You want something better for everybody. But many of these racists, they only feel good about themselves when they see someone else is suffering. But anyway, so yeah, many of us need to, focus on ourselves and probably in of our neighbors. How is this country helping us? What change needs to be made so everybody could be happy? So this is the platform of many Democrats. But the Republicans only want certain few, even though they are as racist as hell, they don't even care about their own group. They just want their group to do the foot soldiering things for them. But they only care about the rich to put in their own pocket. They don't see that. Many of the other white racists who are not in that circle, they don't see that. As long this other group, black and brown, are in poverty or they're suffering, they feel good. They be more than happy to do the footwork for those rich and powerful. But anyway, let's go to the next tweet. Okay, so this is V. She has a podcast. I don't know. Has she put anything on YouTube lately? I don't know. Okay, he is him. Alright, so she retweeted him. Governor Walz is also really, really good at this. Alright, there's one comment under it. The way this guy has grown on me. Alright, so let's go to the retweet. There's no more comment under here. Let's pause really quickly. Oh, so there's more. Okay, so we'll go over it. I don't know who he is. This is the first time I'm seeing him. Well, I put the tweet on the list, but I don't know who he is. Okay, Governor Walz is also really, really good at this. Okay, 1 minute and 19 seconds. I don't know if he's a Republican or Democrat. I don't know. He's just a white guy. You know what? Let me look him up. Governor Walz. If it's him, the person in that video. Yeah, that's him. That's him. He looks like him. Okay. Timothy James Walz is an American politician, former U.S. Army non-commissioned officer, and retired educator who has served since 2019 as the 41st governor of Minnesota. Ah. Okay, born 1964, age 60, West Point. Okay, education, there's all of this. Okay, so he is the governor. Tim Walz, okay, so he is a Democrat. Maybe not. Let's see, governor, they don't put the D or R next to him. Okay, let's just ask Google. Is okay, so there's that here. Oh, so he's a Democrat. So okay. Okay, Jesse Ventura, I think, was one of the governor in Minnesota as well. He was pretty good. I know of Jesse Ventura because he used to be a wrestler, and I knew when he ran for office, and I've always heard good things about Jesse Ventura. Okay, so let's listen to this. I wanted to know a little bit more about him. Okay, that's the first time I'm seeing him, or maybe the second time.
These guys are just weird. That's who they are. So it isn't much else. Don't give them the power. Look, are they a democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes. They're going to do all that. But don't lift these guys up like they're sometimes heroes. Everybody in this room knows, I know it as a teacher, a bully has no self-confidence. A bully has no strength. They have nothing.
Look at Trump. He doesn't even want to go debate Kamala Harris. But when he's on TV, or they give him the platform, or he knows he's welcome, he talk all his BS. I will never forget that time. This is where I started to feel or have a sense about him. When he had the issue, Trump with, what's that comedian woman? O'Donnell. What's her first name? She used to have a show on ABC. Okay. At the beginning, yeah, you could laugh about it, but he went on and on and on. That's when Trump raised my radar about him. And I was like, it was uncalled for. Start calling her name and all of that. So that was the moment for me with Trump. Before, I remember talking with my cousin about him, way before the incident with him. Rosie, that's it, Rosie O'Donnell. I was talking to my cousin long time ago, and I used to say, only Trump kids I never hear in the paper. You hear all other rich people's kids doing this, they're going to rehab, but none about Trump kids. So I used to think highly of Trump. Then the Rosie O'Donnell thing came, and it raised my radar about him. Then come with that the porn star, things that he did and all of that, and I knew who he was from that point on. I didn't need anybody to tell me anymore, because we know the reason we probably didn't hear much about his kids is because he was, how do you call this thing? I did a video about that, where he paid off to grab the story so they don't publish it anymore. What's the term they use? Okay, when I'm editing, if I remember, there was this Will Ferrell. What's his name? Will Ferrell's. Oh my God, I'm forgetting names now. I'm coming back to this. Okay, Will Ferrell's son. What's his name? There's a video that I did. Was it where I mentioned him? He did investigation about the things that was going on. They were it's leading to the 2016 or 2020 election. Catch and kill. That's the term they use. Catch and kill. That was Trump. He talks about that. Okay. Ronan Farrow did a research about the catch and kill thing with all the sex trafficking and all of that. Okay. So through that, I got to understand perhaps why some of Trump's kids never end on the tabloid, because of the catch and kill. I'm assuming, okay, knowing what we know now. But before that, before the Rosie O'Donnell incident between Trump and Rosie O'Donnell, I used to think highly of Trump because I never hear anything negative about him. When you go to New York, when you look at the West Side Highway, his name is on the highway, you know, where you donate to adapt a highway or something to raise money or whatever. Okay, his name was there. But one thing I used to very suspicion of him, when he was building some of his buildings, there were some deals that were being made. I don't know the full details of it, but I was aware of it, and I knew it was unfair. Where, you know what, let me not go into it because there was some stuff that I was saying, but whatever. So let's focus on that. I don't know if I made my point why I raised all of these issues, but shall I start all over? But let's continue.
The fascists depend on fear. The fascists depend on us going back. But we're not afraid of weird people. We're a little bit creeped out, but we're not afraid. But look, and then as you heard this, and one day ago, a poll came out and showed Kamala Harris up 10 points and Donald Trump getting his handed to him here in Minnesota. So sorry. But he's here today in the state of hockey to complete his trifecta. He lost in 16, he lost in 20, he loses in 24.
So he is one of those people where I mentioned in my comment, we will never know, but apparently now I'm aware of him. He's doing his thing, and he's a white guy too. Okay, I put him in the same category as what's that prosecutor who's bringing the case in Florida that I mentioned in my comment on my community board. Okay, it's almost done. Okay, actually it's done. All right, and it continues here.
With my daughter.
Oh, okay. Love this guy. 29 seconds.
Hey, Minnesota, Governor Walz here, out at the State Fair with my daughter.
Oh.
Every year we as a family do something old and something new. I get to pick something, a classic, the old mill ride, to do that. And then Hope gets to pick something new.
I think we're going to go do the slingshot.
Which I don't know what it is, and they're keeping it from me. But then we're going to go get some food, corn dog.
I'm vegetarian.
Turkey then.
Turkey's meat.
Not in Minnesota, turkey special. And we will go do some of those things and report back. Hey, Minnesota.
That is funny. Plain language, plain speaking. He's exceptional. He's fantastic, folksy. Love him. Okay. Wow, well done. We're not afraid of weird people. That's for sure. Trump and Vance are weirdos. Okay, so he's doing his thing. All right, next tweet.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.